Christ, it's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Good morning. It's 6:30 in the morning. And so, if you don't know, I have been very, very ill. I had like a kidney infection and tonsillitis all at the same time. But because in the situation we're in, the doctors don't ever want to see you. So I self-diagnosed 3 times and had 3 different rounds of antibiotics until they eventually just said, I don't think these antibiotics are working. Here's some big daddies of some antibiotics, which just completely wiped me out. In my eyes, I think that was a way of my body telling me, Chloe, you really need to slow down and you really need to start looking after yourself and setting some boundaries. So here we are. Right, I'm gonna make some breakfast, so let's do that, shall we? I forgot to show you, but I'm just eating some fruit and nut mix. Yeah, it's really busy at work today. This morning has absolutely flown. So I'm gonna eat this, finish this, and then try and find a time that would be good to take lunch. During lockdown, I went for a stage of like never taking lunch, and you just end up burning yourself out. And because obviously I was ill last week, that's the last thing I want to do. So I'm going to do a 40-minute power yoga flow with cat method. It's just this one. Please come wide, reach the arms forwards, and crown of the head just comes down to the mat. Close your eyes and take a minute just to arrive. I've just sliced my finger open. It's so deep I don't actually know if I need stitches or not. So I'm just going to hold loads of pressure and actually change my lunch because I can't prep with a slit finger. It hurts if you're wondering. So I'm currently just holding my finger here and I'm hoping that that's going to be enough for it. I've basically just heated up some carrot and coriander soup and I've put a tin of jackfruit in, and it was the jackfruit that cut my slice. I think it just looks worse, oh my Christ, because it's right on the crease of my thumb, like it's in here. I hope I haven't gone through a vein. I'm honestly an absolute joke. Guys, what the hell is wrong with me? So last week I was on antibiotics. This week I got back from A&E because the slice was so bad. I sent a photo to my friend who's a nurse and she was like, yeah, you've got an artery in your thumb, so I would really go get it checked out. So one of my best friends, Claire, came and picked me up, and everyone thought I was being dramatic because the photo that I took of it, which I'll put here, doesn't make it look bad. And I like get in the car, I was like, look Claire, and she was like, ugh, yeah, you really need to go, because it was like all flat. Anyway, our NHS is flipping incredible. I walked in, she called my name, I went in, she cleaned me up. Honestly guys, I know they say things come in threes, but I think I will cry if something else happens. I don't know if this is a sign that I just need to take a break and I just need some holiday. There's a high chance that that is what I need, but you know, we move. Hello friends. Oh hell. What a day yesterday. So originally I started doing a what I eat in a day, and today, magpie, I had a bit of an epiphany that I was like, obviously I don't even know where to start. Started doing my what I eat in a day, thought I was feeling a little bit better. Did this, ended up with stitches in my hand, and I just kind of broke down, I guess. I wouldn't say broke down, that's probably a bit dramatic. I was feeling like pretty neggy. I was just like, what the hell is going on? Like where I've been on antibiotics and where I've been really ill, I was just like, fuck, like another thing, like, are you joking? Like, give me a break. I'm really worried that Magpie's stuck. Just kind of like looking around. And he's just kind of looking around, just like sat up on like a roof that's normally like pretty spiky, so I'm just a bit worried about him. But yeah, and then I just cried, and I think I'm kind of forgetting when I was on such strong antibiotics, right, that it wipes out all the good stuff in you as well. So my biggest problem is I'm rubbish at being ill. I'm not very good at sitting still, and I'm not very good at taking time out. I just want to keep going. I think I probably rushed being back to normal, if you like. Then I just had these epiphanies. And I thought, do you know what? Like, what I eat in a day isn't probably going to serve you as well as this is probably going to serve you, because my epiphanies and the post that I then put out on Instagram, actually that would have helped me so much more hearing these points than watching someone eat in a day. Basically, the epiphanies that I had when, and I guess like the title of this video would be something along the lines of like things to remember when you're going through a tough time. And I think that's the reason why I think this is really important, is because when you're on that journey of like breaking free from like diet obsession and diet culture and exercise obsession and trying to get your period back and that like fitness addiction, orthorexia type stuff, there are some real down times in this journey. Yay! The magpie moved. Thank goodness. If you are going through a bit of a tough time at the minute, and obviously everything that's been going on in the world, right? Here are a few things. Number one, things to remember is the universe only ever gives us what we're ready for. So even through the shittest of times, try to remember, and this, I should do a disclaimer, this is a very spiritual video, but try to remember that whatever is presented to us is because we can get through it. If you think back through some of the toughest times that you've been through, because we all have been through tough times, okay, some more than others, some from what I would probably describe as a more privileged trauma or a privileged tough time. So if you look back at like some of the tougher times that you've had and the challenging times that you've had, you've got through them. And I'm a big believer that the universe presents you with these challenges because it knows that you can get through it, and it's there to teach you a lesson. So the affirmation, if this is around your body and you're going through maybe like a health thing or whatever, put my health first and take a break to slow down when my body tells me to. I think affirmations are a really powerful way to try to help reshape our mindset. Number two would be to remember that there will be someone in the world that has it worse than you, and that a lot of the time our problems that we can face are often from a state of privilege. It's about being aware that I'm very much aware that my issues, if you like, or things that crop up that are challenging are from a privileged background. I'm very aware of that, but it's also really important to remember that we do only know our own realities. So what is really difficult for one person might be nothing compared to another. And a really good affirmation for that is to say something along the lines of, I'm really grateful for all the challenges that are presented to me because they're here to help me learn and grow. Or like in times of like negative moments and challenges, it's a really crucial point to really dig deep and be grateful for what we do have. And it's like, even in the really toughest of times, there's still something to always be grateful for. Point three would be that a lot of the time when we're going through challenges and negative moments, it's really common for us to really try to control. And the most important thing here is to just let go and trust. I am a nightmare for control, and it doesn't come natural to me to release and surrender and trust that everything will be okay, because when you're going through a really tough time, it's really hard to remember that, right? It's like, oh God, I've got to do something about it. When I was poorly, it was like, I've got to do everything I can to try to get me, because you're constantly trying to get better and you get better, and it's like, actually the best way to get better and to get through any like challenging situation would be to just trust, breathe, and let go. And a really amazing affirmation is one of my favorite ones as well. I trust that the universe has my back and that everything turns out for the highest good for all. And it's just about trusting that you will get through this, whatever you're going through. There will be brighter times. Number four would be to warrant all of your emotions. It's often a tendency that we feel, especially through like social media, and I actually feel a lot of pressure because I generally am a very happy person and I generally love my life. I often feel a lot of pressure that I have to be happy and full of energy all the time, and if I'm sad then I'm not being my true self. And it's about sitting back and warranting every single emotion. We grew up, especially guys, you're crying like a little girl, or boys don't cry. It's constantly telling us that we shouldn't feel sad and we shouldn't cry, and actually the issue that we have with that is that the emotions often get suppressed. So journaling really helps with that, but helps with this, and just warranting, and any emotion that comes up is sitting with it and allowing it and just breathing through it. And journaling and getting it out on paper or talking to a friend or family member is just a really good way of making sure those emotions out, and just making sure that we don't suppress those emotions, because if we suppress them, they can manifest in other ways, or they can just crop up at, like, have you ever, like, for example, you've gone for a really, really tough time at work or a breakup or whatever, and then the toast burns, and then you just like lose your shit over the toast burning. And that's because you suppressed those emotions before, because you're constantly trying to give off this persona of being happy, when actually sometimes you just need to sit back, let yourself have a cry, let yourself have a feel those emotions, especially on the journey to get your period back and breaking. Like, you're shedding old skin, right? You're trying to leave that past behind, and that can be really, really tough. It's a form of grief. And a lovely affirmation to go through that would just be, I allow all emotions to flow freely through my body. Epiphany at number 5 would be to just not apologize for being you. I put my hands up. I know I'm a little bit quirky. I spent so long maybe trying to suppress that and try to fit in a little bit more, and it's really important that we don't apologize for being ourselves. I actually love time alone. I actually really need it. I work a lot best when I have that time by myself to be able to recharge, to then be the best person that I want to be when I see people. And I think one of my best friends, Claire, she loves to be around people. I'm just a bit of an introvert, so she doesn't really get it and I don't really get her, but that doesn't mean that either way is right or wrong. It's just owning who you are and not trying to be someone else. And then finally, it will just be to be patient and just to go through it. I often talk about the waves, and I think I've spoken about this in another video. If not, it's definitely on Instagram, about how you ride each wave of emotion. Wave comes in, and actually you have the choice, right? You either get swallowed by the wave and you're tumbling and you feel like you're going to drown, or you try and ride it and you try and surf the wave into the shore. And the thing is the wave will always come into shore. You will be able to get off and carry on living your life, and you will get through it. And it's just about being patient and trusting the universe, and just knowing that, look, okay, things might not be okay and the best right now. You might not be feeling your very best. You might not be really happy right now, but you look at what you've been through in the past, and you know that times will come, whatever comes up will also come down. And I think it's just about making sure that with the current, rather than trying to fight it, because at the end of the day, life moves on and life carries on, and life will take you, and the current will take you whether you like it or not. So you either have the choice to just sit back and trust that everything will be okay and just go with the current, or you can choose to really try and fight it. Even when we go swimming and we're swimming against the current, it gets tiring and it gets harder and harder and harder because our bodies tire. And that's exactly the same when it comes to our energy through and control things and try to fight through negative times. It just becomes so hard on the body, and it's just about trusting and letting go and just going with it. I really appreciate that it is so much easier said than done. I have had, I won't lie, I feel like I've had a really tough few weeks. It's just been really challenging. Obviously, from my own perception of my own life, I really struggle being poorly, and I think I just feel a little bit like, oh, today's been my best day and I feel a lot better. Yeah, the hand was kind of like the last little catalyst. I was just like, it's my right hand as well, guys. I do everything with this hand. I think as well, it's just about having that list of things which I've spoken about before, of knowing the things that really top your cup up and really enable you to be the best person, and just making sure that you're not neglecting that list. I think it's really easy for us when we're in the right shitter to then reach to that list and start to do things so you're like in a really bad place and you're like, oh, I know a bath will make me feel better. When you're feeling great and when life is all right, you kind of neglect these things. I really need to make sure I'm still topping my cup up and still doing those things even when I feel good, so then it prevents you from being like a proper downer. So I hope this video wasn't too much of a shitter and a downer for you. I hope that this has actually helped you, because these epiphanies were just like, I think having those epiphanies has really helped me. This morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, okay, I feel all right, I feel good, I feel fine. I hope that this video has helped you, and I hope that kind of next week when we talk again, and I will be back to myself and I won't have stitches in my hand and the antibiotics would have completely flushed out my system, to rest and to be kind to myself. So if I'm having to do that, then I hope you guys are too. So I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate that for the past like few weeks when I was poorly, my engagement and stuff like that has really gone downhill because I haven't really been putting as much effort into my posts and my videos. So soz about that, but I really hope that now the being so ill has kind of given me a kick up the bum about Magpie, about making me kind of realise what I really want, and sharing these videos really lights me up. So yeah, if you could support it, that would mean a lot, and I'll see you next week. Bye.